Hey everybody! Before we get started today, here is a quick message from this video's sponsor. Alright, you got me. I'll admit it. Sometimes when I'm editing one of these videos together, I will make a slight change to something, and for no reason at all, and without any warning, that slight change will throw the entire project out of whack. Boy, do I wish there was a software or a tool that I could use to help me catch those issues early and stop it from happening. But I don't think that exists for video editing. But I'll tell you what, you game developers and designers, you have it easy. That's right, I said it. If you're a pro level or an aspiring level game designer or developer, Machinations could really be helping you out. This thing allows you to run simulations to see if those small changes you want to make will break your game, and let you catch those issues early. It's an easy to use, easy to learn game balancing platform used by developers at studios like Ubisoft, Avalanche, and Mediatonic. But more than that, Machinations also helps you with blank canvas syndrome too, because it has hundreds of ready-built templates to ease you into the creative mindset. If you'd like to give Machinations a try, you can use our channel's personalized link in the description down below. Thank you so much to Machinations for sponsoring this video, but for now, let's get into it. If you're anything like me, you've never seen a game like this before. What you're looking at is one of my games of the year from 2021. It's a coming-of-age tale made by two people, and in a year filled with games that were taking advantage of 4K textures and particle effects and ray tracing, this was the best-looking game I played. Because unlike those games, this one made its visual style matter to the gameplay and the way the player and the character are feeling, and for that reason I think this game is a work of genius. Oh, and by the way, it's called Sable.
Come in to me, show us the way. I'm caught between the wisdom parts of the unknown. Adored.
Imagine a world where, when you come of age, no matter your background or financial situation, you get to embark on a pilgrimage to explore the world, find yourself, and decide what it is you want to do with your life. That is what Sable is all about. You'll play as the titular character, Sable, a young girl who has finally come of age and is about to begin her gliding, the period of her life where she's blessed at a monolithic shrine and given the ability to glide from any height, a skill that only people coming of age have access to. She's given a hovering bike to explore the desert wastes she inhabits, and she's tasked with earning badges in various vocations. Once she's earned a certain number of badges in one area of expertise, she's able to seal herself into a lifetime of dedication to that craft. This world places so much emphasis on the gliding. Elders miss it, children long for the day it's theirs, and anyone in between thinks of it as the golden era of their life. And it's for that exact reason Sable's visual style matters so much. Okay, so I'm told that to talk about Sable's visuals, I have to talk about this guy. He has the Frenchest of French names. He is called Jean-Henri Gaston Giraud. Oh, there goes my French audience. Giraud is famous for coining this very muted illustrative style. Lines are clear and colours are vivid, but details within them are notably absent. This style went on to influence whole libraries of French comic books like Tintin, and would later serve as a point of reference for Ghibli's art style, and various cartoon shows alike. It creates this very otherworldly feel that immediately strikes my eye because it's unlike any other drawing that I've seen brought to life by animation. In Sable, this unique, toon-shaded style is devoid of detail, yet it carries the player through without an ounce of confusion as to what a certain object might be or where one texture ends and the other begins. It's a perfect fit for the world this game is set in, because to older people looking back on their gliding, this all looks like a distant memory that's been whittled away by time spent in the mind's eye. For younger people who don't appreciate the gliding's significance, this art style mimics a youthful attitude in which time is taken for granted and the smallest details are never truly savoured. This is one of those rare games that, for me, managed to align me as a player with the character I was controlling. And when I say that, I feel I need to expand a bit. So many times I've heard reviews in gaming talk about how some characters are simply a vessel that really help to make whoever's playing feel like they're embodying them. You might have heard this said about silent protagonists like Link or Doomguy or whoever you play as in Far Cry 5. Honestly, these mutes never make me feel more aligned with them because there's nothing there for me to grab onto and go, oh my god, they're just like me. I've been in their shoes. I've experienced something just like that. To me, they just feel very empty. What I think is always way more effective is when a studio uses one specific medium to make me feel like I'm truly at one with the character I'm playing as. Celeste does that with its difficulty and its conversations around mental health. Hellblade does that with its sound design. Some games like The Last of Us do that with their writing or vocal performances. But the reason I love Sable so much is because I've never seen a game do that with its visual style alone. Visuals in gaming usually seem really surplus to requirements for me. They seem more like a matter of, well, we can afford to make Ratchet look fluffy as hell, and we have the talent to make Kena look like a Pixar movie, so that's why we're going to choose this certain art style. And those are all good and well. I don't want to make any criticisms of other games there at all. It's just, never before has a game made me stop, take notice, and realize, oh my god. This game is using this specific art style not just to look pretty, but because it helps to deliver the message the developers are trying to put across. Exploration is at the heart of Sable's gameplay loop, and another reason why its visual style matters so much is because the artwork makes you want to explore even more. I'll give you an example. When you're riding around on your bike, you might see a strange shape up in the distance. Because you can't make out any discernible details of what you're looking at, you're more compelled to go over and explore it. Find out what it is, who's there, what can their perspectives offer you on your journey, how can your gliding benefit them. You might be thinking this game's exploration is very similar to something like Breath of the Wild, and you'd be absolutely correct. But there is one huge difference. In Breath of the Wild, the framing is amazing. I.e., every time you come out of a shrine or a town, you'll see Hyrule Castle towering over the horizon, reminding you that this explorative journey through the world does have an endpoint. You've got a visible destination that you're always hurtling toward, and so whether you rush through to the final boss battle or not, you'll always be working with that endpoint in mind. In Sable, you don't have that, and the effect that has on the way you explore is profound. There is no endpoint. It's a mystery, and so the end of your gliding is whatever you want it to be. Moreover, it can be whenever you want it to be. On another note, Sable's accelerated day-night cycle completely changes the way an area will look. Your youthful exuberance might tell you to never stop and smell the roses, but the undeniable beauty of this game's day-night cycle makes you want to settle down in each location for a full day just so you can see what it looks like under the sun as well as the stars. Maybe you won't have time. Maybe you've got an urgent favor that's been called in, or an objective that's been written so beautifully you need to find out where it's going. Either way, the visual representation of time passing in this game makes you long to explore, and even revisit to find out what places might look like in a different light. Finally, I love the way Sable's visual style puts you completely in tune with desert living. Like, imagine living in a desert. God, it would be boring. You'd have dust in your lungs all the time, sand would get everywhere, you'd feel isolated from civilization, and everything is pretty much the same color. Chances are, if you were Sable, you'd be very eager to up sticks and find out if there's more to the world than this monochrome beige landscape. Yet again, this visual style is aligning the player with the game's character here. In the opening section of the game, the player is fed a lot of this clean and uniform line work, with pretty simple, flat color schemes. Reason being, Sable hasn't left home yet, and as we witness the world through her eyes, we're seeing a depiction of how she sees desert life. This patch of rock looks like another patch of rock, and this sand looks and feels a lot like the last mile of sand. Who would care to look for details when everything in life looks this similar? But then you start to explore, and the world throws you a couple of stunning vistas and tantalizing flashes of color. Suddenly, you have an incentive to get out into the world and discover every Giraud illustration in motion that the game has to offer you. Soon enough, you won't be exploring to collect badges for Sable's future, but to discover the unforgettable joy in a fleeting sunset while you drift across the dunes. You start to realize that the point of this game is to make you appreciate the time you have now, because part of nostalgia is pain for a time you know you'll never get to truly return to. As Sable learns to appreciate the time of her life, you'll learn to take your time and savor the swift hour or two every day that you have to take in your favorite art form, or spend with loved ones, or do whatever it is that makes you feel at peace. I don't really know if it's the time in my life that I'm in right now, or just the uniqueness of this art style, but Sable as a game really spoke to me. Honestly, I could not recommend you it more. Thank you so much for watching! I feel like I'm back in a creative swing with these videos now, so hopefully I have a regular supply to offer you in 2022. If you want to keep up to date with what my next video is, or how far along the creative process I am, give us a follow on Instagram. It's where we post the majority of our updates now. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment and tell me what you thought, and subscribe and hit that bell icon to catch more videos coming soon. Thanks again so much for watching, everyone, and tune in next time.